Arsenal have reportedly placed a bid or made an offer for Houssem Aouar. They are also reportedly still interested in signing James Maddison this summer. Some of this has been debunked by the AJ Bell. They report that Arsenal have denied these rumors about Aouar to be true. But I want to take a deeper look at it. I want to understand what's really going on, and I want to gauge your views and your opinions. And what does this pursuit of these two brilliant attacking midfielders mean for Emile Smith Rowe? We'll also be giving you an update this morning on the Raphael Varane situation. Some reports out of Spain telling us that things are moving a little bit closer. But again, we want to take a closer look at that with you. Hit that like and that share button. Here we go. Good morning and welcome back to the Football Terrace. Lots of transfer news circulating in the past 24 hours. Want to tell you what we're all being told. Want to tell you what I think. Want to gauge your views and your opinions on this. Arsenal again dominating the airways, trending across social media. So many of their targets really resonating with their fan base over the past few days with so much transfer activity going on. There were big reports out of France late afternoon, early yesterday evening, that Arsenal had made an offer or made a bid. I don't really care about the semantics of it, but have made an offer for long-term target Houssem Aouar, a player that we know that Arsenal have been linked with now for a good couple of years. They tried to sign last summer, but couldn't get the deal done. There are mooted reports that potentially he could be picked up this summer for a fee somewhere in the region of about 20 million euros. There was a lot of excitement around the Arsenal fans for this. For me, he's a midfielder. We know that Aouar is a central midfielder, more of an attacking midfielder. He's certainly not. I wouldn't look at him and think box to box or DM or anything along those lines. I've seen a lot of weird stuff tweeted about him, but for me, he's an attacking midfielder. Does he play cam? No. Not really. He has played there on occasions, but he does sit a little bit deeper. More of a Ceballos-esque position rather than, say, a Bruno Fernandes or someone who sits in that hole. And a cam, it depends on your system. It isn't, there's not too many of them about anymore in the old traditional sense of the word anyway. But it's certainly a creative and attacking midfield player that Arsenal were looking at. This was then debunked. This was then sort of shut down by the AFC Bell yesterday evening. But I have to say, in a very, very intriguing way, what they tweeted out was, they said that a source at Arsenal tells them that the club holds a degree of interest in Houssem Aouar, but the talks are not advanced and they have not reached the stage of making an official offer, as some French reports have indicated tonight. The club continues to evaluate the market situation and the possibility of signings with its main objectives before considering other options. Now, for me, this is a very telling update from the AFC Bell, because as we all know, clubs don't make official bids until they're sure they're going to get the deal done. And Arsenal are making lots and lots of inquiries right now. That tweet from the AFC Bell told me that Arsenal was serious about Aouar this summer. He is definitely a target they're looking to progress forward with. The question then needs to be asked as to whether or not the James Maddison deal is still something they're pursuing. They instantly gave an update on that situation as well. They turned around and they said that, again, the AFC Bell understand that James Maddison is certainly a major target for the club, although there is still no strong movement down that path yet. Essentially, no official bid has been made. Arteta's admiration of Aouar is not a secret, but we do not receive any new information indicating that the game scale has changed. So essentially anything's changed on that file. A move is not ruled out if the club fails to sign its main objectives. So Some people are talking about maybe bringing both in. This from AFC Bell suggests that actually maybe they're looking at only bringing one of these players in. But when you look at Aouar and you look at James Maddison, they don't strictly play in the same position. Maddison is more of what you would call a 10, more of an advanced attacking midfielder who, it plays between the midfield and the striker, as an example. Aouar plays a little bit deeper. And Arsenal need that. Arsenal, in some respects, need both these players. They need someone of the level and the quality of James Maddison in that that attacking role, that advanced role to link up and be that conduit, that cartilage between the striker and the midfield. But they also need somebody in a deeper role who's good creative from a creative sense. I understand that there's Thomas Partey that's looked at as a box-to-box, but he's not a renowned attacking mid. He's not renowned for his attacking abilities, especially when it comes to that creative spark, that key pass moment, that the goals that may be added to it. And it could seemingly be seen that Mikel Arteta is looking at Aouar as this option. That still remains. And if that is true, if there is the possibility, there is the chance that both of these players are going to go after, where is the room in the squad going to come from? Is it simply a case of, listen, you could bring in Aouar and James Maddison because Xhaka is leaving, because forget the guy's name now. The likes of the Nelsons and the Willocks of this world could be on their way out. Is that where the space is being freed up? Of course, Ceballos isn't returning as far as I'm aware. Odegaard isn't returning as far as I'm aware. So it's about having these options. And how do Arsenal fans feel about that? Could Aouar and Maddison be the replacements for all those outgoing players? And if so, how good of an improvement do you think it is? What I would say is this in terms of my opinion on this situation. The way the AFC Bell and Arsenal, I believe AFC Bell is legit. I believe that AFC Bell knows people or talks to people at Arsenal Football Club. That, for me, I'm not disputing. But what we do know when it comes to these deals is a club is, they shut these rumors down. We're going to spend big money this summer, between 150 and 200 million maybe, on players. But let's not allow these negotiations to be done in public. Let's keep our powder dry. Let's keep things as quiet as we can moving forward. Something about it seems legit and interesting. There could be a chance of landing them both. Of course, James Maddison is a very hard player to sign, considering the club that he's at. They don't want to sell him. He's going to cost a lot of money. But I do want your thoughts and your feelings about this. The Emile Smith Rowe news continues again today. More and more Villa-based outlets, Midland-based outlets talking about it. The Mail doing articles on it today as well. It's very interesting indeed that these stories continue to pop up their heads and not go away. I know Arsenal fans are very resolute. Igal on the show yesterday, absolutely categorically confident that in no way, shape or form would Emile Smith Rowe be leaving. And I do understand where that confidence comes from. I do understand it with all the things that have been said, but it's still a rumor that is circulating at the same time. We have opened up the phone lines. The link to call in is pinned to the top of the stream. So if you want to come on and have your say, we would love to hear from you this morning. But please make sure you are smashing that like button now. Adam Malik here says, why would Aouar and Maddison downgrade? Do you know what I think, Adam? I think you need to be really respectful to Arsenal in terms of this. They may not view it as, there's no way Arsenal is a downgrade from Lyon. It just isn't a downgrade. It's an improvement. You're in the Premier League. You earn more money. And it's a brilliant space for him to step into. From James Maddison's point of view, where else can he go? No space for him at City. Doesn't get into the Man United team. Liverpool don't play with a Cam type player. Chelsea have Mason Mount and Kai Havertz. Spurs, why would you want to go Spurs right now? Like, at least with Arsenal, Lokonga, medical coming very soon. They've got Tavares coming in. They're talking about Aouar. And they're looking at some good quality players that come into that football club. I don't think that either of those players would be making a step down if they go to Arsenal. And one thing that's important to football players is legacy. Creating and building and carving out legacy within the game. And if you're part of an Arsenal resurgence, do you understand the notoriety you get within football? Legacy seasons, legacy moments are key. Tonight is a legacy game for English football. If you're an England player tonight that scores the winner in a semi-final of a competition, your name is remembered forever. Within the Premier League, if James Maddison and Aouar are part of a team that gets Arsenal back into the Champions League. They then go on from there to win the Champions League, or they win a Premier League in 2 or 3 years' time. You are etched into folklore forever. That is an attraction. Plus, London's an attraction. Arsenal pay good money. Definitely not a step down, especially from Olympique Lyon. Like, for me, that's a madness to think that's a step down, my friend. Let's do some of these comments that are coming through here. Deshane says it's a better run club, not a better club. I hear you on that. Leicester are a far smaller club than us. Of course they are. Leicester are a much smaller club. They're just being run better at this moment in time. But wouldn't the signings of people like Aouar and Maddison maybe represent the changing of that guard? You know, a changing of direction, a better run football club? Leicester are in Europe, though. They are in Europe, but I don't know where. I understand it's fandom. Fandom, like, will always talk about this sort of stuff. Fandom will always speak about football in this way. No, not good enough. Arsenal are finished now. Nobody wants to play to them, and it's funny. But when you're having a serious football chat, no footballer said that. Do you know what I mean? Like, the fact that these players, the likes of Lokonga, who's one of the highest regarded, highest players with highest talents coming out of Belgium, one of the most sought after young players in Europe. I want to play for Arsenal. That tells you all you need to know. So Arsenal fans, don't be sucked into it. Don't be sucked into it. We're going to go some calls now. We are going to also give an update on Varane a little bit later on in the show, but make sure you've hit that like button. I can't believe we're only on 100 likes and there's 700 people watching. You obviously watch the channel. You're obviously subscribing. Why would you not be hitting that like button for us and just showing us your support, please? It's really important. We should literally be on 700 likes, shouldn't we? Liking ain't about my opinion. Liking is about supporting the channel. And the only reason we say that is because YouTube and their algorithms, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying there. Terry, some people just commenting for banter. No, I totally understand that, and I respect it, like I said. But it's about Arsenal fans not being sucked into that banter and knowing where you are. Let's go to some of our first callers on the show today. I want to speak about Houssem Aouar. Do you think he can end up at Arsenal? What about these James Maddison links and Smith Rowe? We're touching on all these things. You haven't got to give an opinion on all three. I just want to know what you think and feel about them. The link is attached to the top of the stream. I want to hear from you. First up, we're going to go to Amin, who is, of course, an Arsenal fan. What are you saying, mate?
Hey, Terry. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm good, my bro. What's on your mind in relation to these deals this morning?
Okay, so we'll start off with the Houssem Aouar, right? With the Houssem Aouar, look, I'll take him. He's a really good player. I know he didn't have a shining season last season, but I'll still take him. He's an upgrade on what we have. But the issue with me and Houssem Aouar is that I really want him, and I also want. We also need a cam because that's another problem with the team, right? But the way I'm looking at it is either the club will either get one of them, because I just feel like that's how it's going to be with this club. I feel like it's either going to be a Cam or a Houssem Aouar. And now, let's say the James Maddison deal, for example, that James Maddison deal will go up to 60, 70 million pounds. And most likely a James Maddison deal will be completed near the end of the transfer window, because, with these big players, there's a lot of negotiations, a lot of people like you have to pay. So now I'm looking at a player like Buendia, who we should have gotten. Now I'm looking like, let's say we don't get James Maddison. Now that Buendia deal that we missed out will just make the club look even more stupid. Now we lost two targets right now. We lost Buendia. We lost Odegaard, 100% Arsenal wanted to get him. They also wanted to get Buendia. I don't care what anyone says about not number one target. He was clearly a number one target. We tried going for him in January, tried going for him again in the summer. He failed because we got outbidded. So I'm just getting worried because we're just missing out all on our number one targets. And another one with the Emile Smith Rowe deal, right? This is what I don't understand with some Arsenal fans, right? They Aston Villa are bidding 30 million, right, for Emile Smith Rowe, around that region, right? Most Arsenal fans are complaining, saying Emile Smith Rowe is not worth 30 million. I agree, he's not worth 30 million. I agree he could be worth more. But you can't be angry at Aston Villa bidding 30 million for Emile Smith Rowe, but then saying on the other hand, oh, we shouldn't have gone Buendia, 37 million is too much, when arguably Buendia is the better player. And another thing was, I'm really worried about the Saliba situation. You know, we paid 27 million for this player who at the time was getting attracted by really big clubs. And now, you know, we're just loaning him out. We never got to see him play. And the people who are ahead of him, like Rob Holding and Pablo Mari, are they even better than him? There's been like talks. I remember a journalist, Chris Wheatley, that the rumors are, the talk is that Saliba is one of the best defenders we have at the club. So, you know, I'm worried about the Saliba situation, because when he comes back, if he does go on loan and if he comes back, why will he want to stay anymore at this club?
Look, I would say this to you now, mate, and I'll be really blunt about it if I'm being honest. If I'm an Arsenal fan right now, I would start to just forget about Saliba on that. Of course, I'm not disregarding anybody's opinion. Everyone's entitled to it. The club will feed out into all its trusted journalists that he's part of the future. We love him. He's X, he's Y, he's Z. There's nothing in terms of the use of Saliba within the Arsenal team that tells me or would confirm to me that Arsenal Football Club are legitimately serious in terms of him being a regular part of the team, because you bought him 3 years ago and it's his third season that he's going out, or 2 seasons summers ago, but it's his third season of going out on loan with barely kicking a ball for the football club. And of course he spent 6 months here last year, and I know that there are mitigating circumstances, but I would start to forget about Saliba. Your club is certainly acting in that way with its 50 to 55 million pound pursuit of Ben White. In terms of the other transfer dealings, what I would say to you is this. Just because I get you missed out on Buendia, and that's an embarrassing thing. I agree with you 100%. He was your number one target in that kind of attacking midfield role that you were looking for. You tried to sign him 2 windows running before you even tried to get Odegaard. You then went for Odegaard, and he's now going to stay at Real Madrid. But that was always going to be the case if Zidane left, and that was what was spoken about. So you're now having to move on to other targets. James Maddison is a bit of a long shot. It's hard to get done at this moment in time. Aouar, he's not a cam, he's more of a central midfielder, but he comes with more of an attacking intent, say, than the other midfielders that you've currently got. You've got to bring in someone. So if you miss out on your number, there's one thing having a number 1 and number 2 target and waiting a whole year maybe to get them. So if Wendy had said, I'm not leaving Norwich this summer, I'll leave next year, and you waited a year for him, that would make sense. But if you miss out on a player, you've got to move on and go for somebody else. You have to go for another target if you miss out on someone. Otherwise, you'll never sign another player for the rest of your lives. I think Arsenal's transfer behaviour processes have been very good so far this summer in terms of the volume of players they're looking at, the speed of which that they're trying to get deals done. I want to ask you a question here quickly on the situation with Emile Smith Rowe. Big reports again this morning circulating that a third bid is about to go in. I spoke to somebody yesterday, very well connected at Aston Villa. Aston Villa believe that this deal is still doable. Aston Villa believe that Arsenal haven't shut the door completely to an Emile Smith Rowe deal. But what's your take on it? What's your opinion as a fan?
Firstly, I think it's just shown how far we've actually fallen. I think it's a big reality check that the fact that Aston Villa are coming and taking one of our prospect, like in 5 years ago, this would never exist. Aston Villa can't go to Man United and take a Mason Greenwood. Okay, it's just shown. It's a reality check for Arsenal fans that I think we needed. And with the Emile Smith Rowe, look, I want him to stay. Okay, but 100% I want him to stay. I think he's an excellent player. We really need him. But yeah, that's another worry, that the fact that if Aston Villa knew this wasn't going to happen, the bid wasn't going to get accepted, they would have stopped bidding. But since they're going for a third bid, it's really worrying me that maybe there is something that is going on where Smith Rowe and his agent are looking at, like, you know, Aston Villa are on the up, they're signing quality players, and maybe, I don't know, Arsenal may just look at it and, like, you know, it's maybe we could probably cash in for this right now. I just don't know. But for me, yes, I would like him to stay, but I won't be 100%. I won't be surprised if he probably ends up going. That's my honest opinion.
There we go. Listen, Amin, I appreciate you calling in and having your say and telling us what you think and feel about those transfers today. Top, man. Remember, viewers, this is for fan opinion here. This is what you think. I understand a lot of people will come out and say, this journalist said that, this journalist said that. That's great. I would love your opinion. I would love what's going through your mind. I would love to know what you think and what you feel. Next on the show, we're going to get man like Igao on to have his say. Igao, welcome back to the terrace, mate. Morning, my friend. First of all, the Aouar news. Buzzing yesterday that it looked like you were putting in a bid. The AFC bill, I'm going to express it this way. Very conveniently playing those talks down. Give me your opinion, mate.
Terry, I honestly can't even think straight right now because I was happy yesterday hearing all these things, possible transfers going through, but then this morning Arsenal just destroyed me. They pissed me off. Do you know what happened? No. These guys tweeted out that they're going to be charging £28 for 4 preseason games. Like, I get it that people are Red members like myself, people who have season tickets are gonna probably not gonna they're probably not gonna get they're gonna get the games for free, but it's just disgusting behavior, especially after off the back of our worst season in a long time, off the back of not signing any players yet officially, off the back of a season where there was no fans in the stadium in the first place and everyone was watching from home and supporting you from home. You do this for this just shows sometimes that, like, read the room. You don't care about the fans. It's clear. It actually hurts, man. Like, it pisses me off. That's why the first thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if you've seen it. I messaged you the Arsenal official tweet from their account. That's what they said. And it's like, it's just disrespectful. I find it. I get it. Monetary value wise, it makes sense for them, but it's ridiculous.
No, look, I hear you on that. When was the last time Arsenal fans felt like their club cared? But there we go. Listen, I think that's. I didn't know. I'll have a read about that later. I wasn't too aware of it, but yeah, it's not a great start to the day as an Arsenal fan. There's no doubt. What's your take on the Aouar news?
Aouar news. I'm surprised that we're still even interested in Aouar. Realistically, I thought we were going to be getting a Maddison in. I thought we were going to be getting a bunch of central DMs in that can progress the ball. I didn't think we would be able to get both in. But if the article is correct, it's almost like Maddison is the priority and Aouar is the backup plan. If Aouar is the backup plan to James Maddison, I'm quite worried because Aouar does not contribute as much into goals and assists going forward. He is a player who has, when he's on a purple patch, he's amazing. And when he's not playing so well, he doesn't really carry the team, doesn't really bring too much into the team when he's not playing so well. I've seen him perform well in the Champions League and everything else, which makes me think, you know what, he's a great player. But I've also seen enough to say, you know what, this is not the best signing for us in the future.
Yeah, and I, it's interesting really because I put a tweet out yesterday and a lot of people took it as being loaded. I just wanted to understand where they're both going to play because again, what I'm seeing is this notion of it's one or the other from some people, but Aouar and James Maddison is in terms of their main base position are different. Maddison is more advanced, so. If Arsenal are thinking one or the other, I don't quite I get one or the other if you're looking to if you're deliberating between playing 4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3. If you're going to play 4-3-3, then maybe you have a DM and you have Partey and Aouar either side, and you go for Aouar instead of Maddison. That makes sense. If you're going to go for a James Maddison, or if you're going to or you're going to want to develop Emile Smith Rowe, you need to play 4-2-3-1. Because they're best. Some people have said to me that Emile Smith Rowe is better from the left. Okay, maybe that could be the case. But if you're going to sign a Maddison, if you're going to sign any kind of cam or develop a cam, you can't play 4-3-3. So I'm just a little bit confused as to what Arsenal are looking to do. Maybe they don't quite know yet. But when I read the AFC Bells tweet, I thought it read more between the lines. It was Arsenal saying, "Can you do us a favor and just temper down these rumors? We're not sure exactly what we're going to do yet. I reckon they have made a bit of an offer around or an inquiry to what would it cost for us to get him. And now it's going to come down to Arsenal deciding how are we going to, I think, and you've got to think about it. That's what's more important right now. It's how are we going to play? and then right, well, let's execute on these 3 players because they bring that process to life more. Does that make sense? If you're going to continue with a Cam, I don't see why you're going to buy Aouar if you get where I'm coming from.
I think the whole reason why this whole story was yesterday, the main story that came out was because he supposedly, from a French publication, stated that he missed his training and he skipped training on purpose, which then he came out on Twitter and debunked himself. So he was already in the spotlight. So I wasn't surprised that we had another story come. But when AFC Bells tweeted what he tweeted, it just makes sense. Any club who's doing their due diligence on a player wants to keep them on the back burners if they're not their number one plan. Same thing we're doing with Basuma. We know that he's not our number one option until he becomes our number one option. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's the same thing with Houssem Aouar. I genuinely believe there's so many other people, but I'm confused. Why aren't we looking at Sabitzer? Why aren't we looking at the guy who cost 15 million pounds that plays in RB Leipzig, plays in Germany? He could come in right away. But hey, sometimes things don't work out the way you want them to work out. The club is always going to have their own targets, and fans are going to have their own targets.
Yeah, no, listen, I again, yeah, fan targets are fan targets. I'm just intrigued by Arsenal's transfer business. I'm kind of following it just very intently. As you know, I'm also looking at the situation when it comes to
Smith Rowe.
I can't remember his name now. Emile Smith Rowe as well. It intrigues the living daylights out of me. And, you know, what was funny, when we went live with the Emile Smith Rowe third bid news 3 days ago, we were spoken about as liars on the terrace. And everybody in the last 24 hours has gone live with it. Even more news this morning. 90 Min have done their own independent article on this from Jamie Spencer this morning that very much quotes the same thing. We spoke to the Football Insiders yesterday, and again, they can only report on what they're being told, but it's people at Villa that believe this deal is doable. And I'm just intrigued to know why they think that. But look, we'll see what happens. And I think once these Euros end, remember, when the Euros end, there's only going to be about a month until the season kicks off. So transfer news is going to improve and motor forward very, very quickly. Appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. We'll speak to you again soon. Top man, Gal, thank you. Viewers, make sure that like button is being smashed for us this morning, please. It's very important to YouTube channels that you do that. YouTube used to just, you know, if the algorithm was determined by our average view time, we'd have no problem at the Football Terrace. It is elite. It is elite, according to the statistics. But the like buttons are the most important part. So make sure you're giving that a hit for us, and you're helping to keep us going. So thank you very, very much indeed. I've had a lot of people messaging me during this stream. What's your take on 90 Min's story that Chelsea are going to bid 150 million for Chelsea, but they're looking at a payment structure because of FFP? My response to you, especially Galacticus Pro, I know you watch every single stream we do. You've clearly seen Dean Jones talk about this over 2 weeks ago now, about the level of bid that Arsenal, that Chelsea are going to put in. They're preparing it. They're reviewing the FFP situation and rules and finances before they do it. We even spoke about this yesterday. It's never put across in exactly the same way. So have I read this article this morning? No. Am I surprised by it? No. Why? Because the Football Terrace has been giving you this exact same news now for about 3 weeks from the very reliable Dean Jones. So do me a favor, Galacticus Pro, because you're often very, very condescending and rude in the live chat towards the people we have on. And to come on here and talk about another article somewhere else that's talking about the same thing that we've already told you is a madness to me. But yes, this is very much true. Chelsea will be putting a bid in. Don't expect any of the tier ones to say it's an official bid. What's going to happen when this happens? When Chelsea put this bid in, you're going to see no official bid was made. It's only tentative inquiries, nothing to see. You'll probably even see a few of the big tier ones call it fake. That's to protect Chelsea. It will be an unofficial bid. It will be what if we bid this? What would the reaction be? That's how this will be done. And it'll be about seeing and judging Haaland's reaction and Dortmund's reaction. And if Dortmund say, you know, we'd accept that, then they'd move forward. If Haaland suddenly goes, listen, please let me go for that amount of money, and starts to push harder to get out, Chelsea might then increase and maybe make a formal offer to really apply that pressure. Don't expect any tier one journalists or tier ones in your minds to say that this is true. They're never going to put their neck out on the lines like that. Semantics. Whether it's unofficial or official, it is still a bloody bid. It is still a bloody bid. But PR is what seems to... PR is the flavor of the month right now. But yes, absolutely. Comment here, Terry, what do you think of Emi Martinez's performance? At what? Did he play last night? If you're talking Copa America, I didn't watch it, bruv. I didn't watch it, so I can't have an opinion on that, I'm afraid. Not a problem at all, brother. Just a bit more respect to the class pros that we have on the show, please. That would be very much appreciated here at the Terrace. Terry, will you ever talk about the Barcelona saga? I mean, look, we covered the top 6 primarily in the Premier, from the Premier League +1, so it isn't something that we overtly focus on. But I spoke about it yesterday. It's just one of these scenarios that doesn't bother me. Do you know why? Because they'll get the money from somewhere, a sponsor, a rich benefactor, the government. I don't care. Someone will bail them out. Something will happen, or they'll sell a player. Like, it'll get resolved. A club, like, honestly, I would be more shocked if today a gigantic alien spacecraft hovered over London, Independent style, Will Smith flying about in an aircraft. That would shock me more than Barcelona missing out on players because of this situation. It's almost a non-story to me because nothing's going to happen. It's like whenever I see a team are in trouble for FFP, nothing's going to happen, so I don't give a shit. That's not at you, Lion. That's just in general. It'll just be like, there'll be something happen, it'll be resolved, and it'll be all this hullabaloo. It's like every time Messi isn't going to stay. Cough with that one. Do you know what I mean? It's like a soap opera. We all know, like, whenever you watch EastEnders or Corrie, we know what's going to happen. You can always tell early on who's going to die soon by the way they suddenly start like, you get a character that's important but not one of the main people, and then suddenly they go for a 2 or 3 month period where they're really focused on. It's like, they're going to die soon. You just always know it's happening. Or you get a man and a woman that will randomly glare at each other's eyes at like a party. It's like, they're going to have an affair in 2 or 3 months. It's so easy to know what's going on, man. I'm just bored of it, bro. Like, I'm legit bored of Barca-gate. Barca ain't in no trouble. Really? They're just not being run particularly well at the minute. They'll be fine. Terry should watch the final of Copa America this year. It's Brazil-Argentina. I might watch the final. Of it. But do me a favor right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show past 500 likes while we're live on the air, please. Hi, Terry. Is it true that Haaland's agent wants a get-out clause? Yes, he does. This is categorically true. Chelsea fans are not going to want to hear this, but it's the truth. Haaland's camp do view Chelsea at the moment as a brilliant club to join, a place that they would love to go, but as a gateway to maybe going to a status club. And to Haaland right now, Chelsea are not viewed as a status club. Real Madrid, Barcelona, status club. He looks at them as being that. His view is we can go to Chelsea and kill it, and in 3 years' time look to move on again. This is something Chelsea have to weigh up. This is something Chelsea have to consider. However, if you get a gargantuan buyout clause of, say, £300 million, then at least your quid's in. It isn't like you haven't had other very good strikers join and leave within a 2 or 3 year period. It wouldn't be a brand new thing for Chelsea. But there'd have to be a fail-safe to recoup your money. Maybe Chelsea look at it and say, well, the buyout clause covers our cost plus some. So imagine you have a buyout clause. It means you can have him for 3 seasons, but then when Barca or Real Madrid buy him out, or PSG buy him out, by the way, I don't think PSG are a status club at all. Chelsea are a much bigger club than PSG. Maybe then you get all your money back. But within that 3 year period, you could potentially decide that, you and the player decide that he's going to stay. Personally, I wouldn't want my club to sign somebody with a release clause like that. I just wouldn't want to do it. But I'm not Chelsea. I'm not Roman. Let's see what he thinks and feels. But it is something they're asking for. It is something that's part of the negotiations as it stands right now. Terry, any news on Locatelli to Arsenal? Yeah, I mean, I think there's more chance of Barcelona going out of business than there is Arsenal getting Locatelli. That isn't because Locatelli wouldn't play for Arsenal. It's the fact that the big Italian clubs are coming in for him. He's Italian. The star Italian players rarely leave. So, yeah, for me, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Terry, does today's game make you more nervous than any United game last season? I don't know yet. I haven't really thought about the England game too much today. I've kept myself very, very busy on purpose to see. Right, guys, let's jump into some more calls here. Next on the show, we're going to go to the Cozy Arsenal podcast. Welcome back to the Terrace, mate. What do you want to say?
Hey, Terry.
Hey, Adrian, what do you want to say, mate?
Yeah, I just want to say I want to speak about the Houssem Aouar situation, right? For me, he's still a top player. I mean, many of us actually got a chance to see him in the Champions League last season, and not last season, but the last season but one. And all of us were really happy that he was a top man, because Lyon did appear in the Champions League. We didn't follow him, and many Arsenal fans are saying, Houssem Aouar has had a very, very bad season. He has actually been a massive flop. Now, if you look at his numbers last season, 7 goals, 3 assists, 30 games. The previous season, when we wanted him, when everybody thought he was a top man, 3 goals, 4 assists, and they're rating Renato Sanches, who is actually, really. But I think Aouar is a top man, and with all the reports coming out that Arsenal really need a man that has that skill set, a player that really, he's got that, kind of more skill in his Arsenal than Thomas Partey. That player that's got the vibe to add to the central midfield, to add to that can add something to that midfield, something special. I think for me, I would take Houssem Aouar, 23 years of age. There is no reason as to why we reject him. There is no reason whatsoever as to why Arsenal fans, let's be honest, they don't want to say we have not watched him last season. They don't want to say we don't know what he did last season at Lyon, because he was not in the Champions League and they didn't follow him. Many people don't watch the French League One, and because yes, Maddison is a top man, and both of them can play in the same team. But Maddison has actually, got involved in 13 goals last season, and in the previous season, 9 goals. It's almost so close to Houssem Aouar. For me, who plays even deeper than James Maddison, because Maddison is an AM, is a CAM. That is all. Houssem Aouar, you could use him as a CAM, you could use him as a CM, and that's beautiful. So I would take Houssem Aouar, guys, and anyone who thinks Aouar is not a good player because you've been influenced by Twitter or any other people with agenda against Houssem Aouar, it's not true. He's a top player, and his statistics were not so bad last season, just that we didn't watch much of him. He was not in the Champions League. We've got to agree. Thank you so much, Terry. Big show. Thank you so much, Terry.
Top man, thank you very, very much indeed. And listen, I think he makes some really good points there. People are judging a central midfielder because he's an attacking central midfielder and not a cam. It's 7 goals, 3 assists. That isn't good enough in the league, but it is for a central midfielder. It's very good for a central midfield player. You then start to look, very good pass completion at nearly 90%, forward pass completion at 80%, passes into the final third, 83%. It's very, very good indeed. It's very, very good indeed. And, a lot of pre-assists. The geezer is decent. He's a decent enough player. Over 5 dribbles attempted per game, 55% succession rate on that. Scored in his Ligue 1 career, he scored in 21% of it. It's 1 in 5 for a central midfield player. Is pretty good. His assist levels are never going to be as high as a cam because he's the pass before the cam in terms of approach play and build-up play. But he's very good. I don't understand it really, but as you say, that's where people just look at the numbers, but they don't understand the numbers that are important for a player in his position. That's just my view. Brian, thank you very much for signing up to our membership scheme today. We actually had another sign up a little bit earlier on in the show, and I didn't touch on it. I'm very, very sorry. Brand new super fan. I think it was Kevin was the name. Brand new super fan and legend sign up to the Terrace, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you very, very much indeed for doing that. And Brian, the same as you as well. But that was a great call there from Man Like Cozy. Next on the show, we're going to go to Josh. Josh is an Arsenal fan. What are you saying, mate?
Hello, Terry. How are you, man?
Very, very well.
Honestly, I'm not really looking to the Aouar thing because I don't think we'll get him. But Maddison, I really like the idea of him coming to Arsenal. I think obviously he's Premier League proven, and he's a really good player. Me personally, I like him a lot, and I feel like he'll do very, very well if he comes to Arsenal as well. And also, about Basuma, I actually don't know if we're going to get him or not, because nothing's really been said and nothing's really been going on to us. Nothing's.
Listen, I think when it comes to Basuma, mate, I think what I'll say to you is this: when it comes to Basuma, when it comes to Basuma, I would say relax yourself. Like legitimately, I would say relax a little bit. Transfer. Think about every club right now. Tell me the deals that have happened. Daka to Leicester, yeah. Man United, Sancho. But how many clubs have actually signed anyone?
None really.
None. And you're working on 5 or 6 deals at the same time. You're gonna get Lokonga's gonna be out of the way very, very soon. Tavares is done and out the way. So I would just say relax when it comes to your business. You may not land Basuma, but I would relax. Arsenal are working very diligently, very, very hard to get deals over the line at the moment. Liverpool have now shown an interest in Basuma. So don't be surprised for that one to slow down, because why would Basuma not consider it? It's Liverpool Football Club. So I would say just like relax a little bit on that and know that your club you are going to bring in 4 or 5 players this summer. Absolute guarantee. Absolute guarantee.
And quickly, the England-Denmark game, I think England are going to slap up Denmark easy. Bang them up. Say about 3-4-0.
Listen, don't do that. Don't put that energy out there. But listen, hopefully they do. Top man, thanks very much indeed. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a few new members that have signed up. Remember, if you're a squad member or above, one of our commitments to you is following you across all social networks. So send us a DM and make sure we're following you back. Some of you, your names you sign up with are not your names on Twitter, so I can't do it to all of you. We should have an update very soon on the scarves that we're having made for our first team members and our legends and super fans as well. And we've got a few updates to come in relation to the studio and some behind the scenes stuff. But as we move into that studio, there'll be a lot more early access stuff for you as well. The Done Deal show is going to change slightly soon as well in terms of the release format. So that will be released early that will be released early to all first team members and legends and superfan members as well. So click on the join button or go into the description below and look at the member stuff. As next season begins, there's going to be so many perks for you all. And at the beginning of the season, we're going to be doing our first ever Football Terrace away day event. And legends and super fans will be getting the location and access to that, as well as to our brand new Friday night show that's in production. And the match reactions next season are going to be out of this world, studio based as well. So go check all of that out on the membership page. Next up, Kesh is back with us. How's it going, bro?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself, bro?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I'm just. Everyone keeps mentioning England twice on the streams. I'm starting to get nervous now. I was blocking it out of my head, brother, and now it's like sinking in. There's a potential final at the end of this week, man. Yeah, but aside from that, all good. What do you make of all this Arsenal news at the moment? Aouar and Maddison, amongst others.
I've listened to a fan that came on earlier, and I understood what you were saying, that getting Aouar, he's a bit worried about not getting Maddison. For me, if you can get both of them, it will be the icing on the cake for this summer transfer window. In terms of Aouar, like, I see a lot of fans who was lauding him last season, saying we should get him and everything. And now a lot of fans are saying we shouldn't get him. And what I've made from that is a lot of fans don't actually watch these players extensively as what they will claim that they do. Because if you look at Aouar this season, this is his best season campaign. So if you lot was all excited about him last season, why are you not more excited about him this season? You get what I'm saying? Like, he's a good player, very good player. And he's very progressive in what he does. Yes, he's not going to get the assists. It's like, when people look at a deep line playmaker, it's like they think they have to have crazy numbers, otherwise they don't like them. But the eye test tells you and shows you what he does in his action areas, the areas of action, and what he does with the ball.
Yeah, no, mate, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think, I've this morning before I went live, I spent about an hour just on Y-Scout watching him, watching his passing, watching the way he operates in the middle. Some of the statistics, again, which are just never spoken about in the mainstream, but I was looking at things like his smart passes as an example. I was going through, I was going through his sort of report and everything that he kind of has in relation to that. And it's sort of like his smart passing is good. His ball retention is excellent. He's rarely dispossessed in bad areas on the field of play. For his role and his position, he's very, very good and talented. Dominates that left-hand side of a midfield as well. You know, can play in a 2, can play in a 3, can play in a cam role if you need him to. So there's versatility there. And I don't look at him as having a bad season. Yeah, did he score an assist as much as a Bruno Fernandes? No, but they play a different role. So for me, I'm not too sure where the negativity for Houssem Aouar comes from, really.
The thing that impressed me most about him, like from the time I've been watching him, is he's tactically very good. Like, he doesn't, like, you know, when you look at a player, you look at their size and they're very diminutive, and you think, nah, they'll get outdone in midfield. He's actually very good in midfield, and he does put a lot of defensive work in as well.
Yeah, 110%, mate. He does. I think he'd be an excellent signing, and at around 20 million euros,
bargain.
It's an absolute snip. It's an absolute snip. It really, really is. And I think if you can bring that guy in, you know, Maddison or somebody as well, plus the youngsters that you're looking at, it's a really positive summer. And you know what's mad? I've seen Arsenal fans this week defend, like, oh, bye-bye, Guendouzi. I'm so sorry to see you leave. Thank God you got out. Have you seen what Guendouzi said?
I know. Listen, Cherry, I was just talking in the group chat about it, and I was saying a lot of Arsenal fans, they've made it their life goal to be against Arteta. So they'll use the Guendouzi as an isolated situation to say, why are we letting him go? Because they're hatred for the manager. I understand the manager didn't do well, but Guendouzi is not this generational talent that Arsenal's letting go. He's not. We need to get over Guendouzi and move forward.
Yeah, I think Guendouzi just a really good excuse for Arsenal fans to have another little pop at the manager, in my opinion. But for the fact that for any Arsenal fans that have missed this, what he has said in an interview is, I'm very happy to be at Marseille today. Marseille is one of the biggest clubs in Europe. We know that very well. They've already won a Champions League. It's not the case for everyone. Like, that kind of shot at your football club. Like, I understand. So go on, mate.
A lot of fans are trying to say it's not at Arsenal, it's at PSG. And I said, listen, it doesn't matter if it's against PSG, because PSG and Arsenal is in the same light. They've both not won one. So if you say that against PSG, it's aimed at Arsenal also. Simple.
Yeah, listen, it's for me, why would he be aiming it at PSG?
Because he's an ex-PSG youngster. They're saying they released him. Fans are trying to make their excuse for him. That's what they're trying to do. It's not that. It's really not that.
Listen, I don't understand. You know, he. For me, you can tell there's a beef with Arsenal. You can tell 100% there's a beef with Arsenal. But because that beef was with, if it was a manager that those fans liked, they wouldn't be defending Guendouzi. But it's because they want to be on Arteta's neck that they're defending a player, and that for me is like, I hate this notion of a friend of my an enemy of my enemy is my friend. I don't believe in that, because I think you lack integrity when you do that as a fan. Like.
I see no difference between his little snigs that he's had over the past 12 months and to that of what Xhaka's done when he told the fans to fuck off. They're both in the same light for me.
Xhaka was getting Xhaka was having people wish cancer on his wife. I can understand it. Like, Guendouzi's situation was, mate, you're not performing well enough or behaving in the right way, so we're gonna get rid of you. Like Xhaka's got an excuse, emotional reason to have an outburst. Like, man said, I hope your wife gets cancer and die. Like, that's a pretty big reason to snap. But because, do you know what I mean? Guendouzi's a talented lad, but he's you even saw after, remember the Brighton game? It was like Guendouzi was one of the triggers that led to that whole situation kicking off, because they were like, who's this kid giving it Billy Big Balls? Do you know what I mean? But it's, as I say, if Mikel Arteta was loved and respected by these particular Arsenal fans, they would not be happy with what Guendouzi said, but they want it to be negative. Bro, listen, appreciate you coming on, having your say, mate, and I'm sure we'll speak a little bit later on. Enjoy the game tonight as well. Speak to you in a bit. Top man, thank you. Comment here from Cruz, who says, what are the unique difficulties Arsenal could face buying and selling? If you're selling players that are slightly below standard, that could be a problem. So hard to get the right price. In terms of buying players, I think the only problem that Arsenal face is competitors. So, for instance, Bissouma, if Liverpool showed genuine interest in him, there is a legitimate chance that Bissouma suddenly picks Liverpool over Arsenal. because there is a significant difference in those two clubs at this moment. There's probably even more status in joining Liverpool, where they currently are, etc. So that's where the difficulties lie, and it's why there's such a what is perceived as scattergun approach. Is why so many midfielders, so many cams, so many players have been discussed and are being spoken about and being negotiated with, because Arsenal need to mitigate and offset the risk of somebody else swooping in. Look at Onana. It looked like it could be a done deal a few weeks ago, and then some big clubs have come in and his mind has been changed. Ruben Neves is a player that Arsenal have been heavily linked with, but then Man United have thrown their hat into the mix. So Ruben Neves' team are not going to make a commitment right now, are they, to Arsenal, when Man United might be on the cards? And this has gone on for years. Before Ozil signed the thing, he sat there waiting because there was rumors that Man United might come in for him as well. And he at least wanted to hear what Man United maybe had to say. This is very normal. It's not specific to Arsenal, but it's normal. That's what I would say to that. A lot of people asking for what the Varane update is. The Varane update is very simple. A lot of reports out of Spain say that Man United have moved closer. It's a play on words. Theoretically, every day that goes by that he doesn't agree terms with Real Madrid, the possibility of him joining Manchester United increases. He hasn't had a conversation yet with Carlo Ancelotti, and a new offer hasn't come in yet from Real Madrid. So nothing around this deal. At this point now, at 19 minutes past 12 on the 7th of the 7th, 2021, nothing at this point has changed in any way, shape, or form. Nothing's different from yesterday or the day before. Anyone who's claiming there's a difference is a liar. Nothing has changed. The player is on holiday. He knows what Manchester United's offer is. He knows that Man United is serious. He's expressed genuine desire to join Manchester United, but he is going to speak to Real Madrid. He is going to listen to Real Madrid. He is going to see what they've got to say. If they can convince him to stay, he could very well stay. This is standard. This is how it is right now. Nothing else outside. A lot of people are saying, oh, the news has gone quiet. Well, of course the news has gone quiet. The news has gone quiet because there's nothing else to report on it. Everything is where it remains right now. Man United and the player have agreed terms, i.e. Man United have said they're happy to give him what he wants. He knows what Man United would offer. He's happy with all of that. Pre-agreement, personal terms, not a problem. Personal terms agreed. I don't really care which of the phrases you want to use, but they all mean the same damn thing. Get out of some certain journalist backsides, please. Because, oh, no, that's not how my favorite journalist says it. Use your own brain for once, you melts. But yeah, that's where that deal is right about now. And that's not aimed at any of you lot. That's just aimed at randomers that are weird about these sort of things. There we go. Listen, everyone who's tuned in this morning, a massive thank you to all of you. Big Chelsea update coming later on this afternoon. And of course, we gear up and we get ready for England versus Denmark. What a big game it's going to be this evening. Terry's so rattled. What am I rattled by, you pleb? Not rattled at all. I just feel sad for people that don't have their own brains. I did ask you the other day, Mo, because you were giving me a lot of stick. Do you want to be one of our new moderators, Mo? Would you like that, my friend? Would you like that? I want to know. I want to know, bro. I want to know. And how about you, bruv? Would you like to be a moderator of the Football Terrace? Would you like it? Let me know. Send me a message. Let me know. I've heard they haven't agreed. Who have you heard that from? I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Saying you've heard, give me your source. Give me the article. Give me the quote. That's all I'm saying, please. Yes, you would like to be. Okay, cool. Maybe. We're going to look at some new mods very, very soon. But you know the rules. You start blocking people for no reason, you're out of here straight away. Start acting like Strip Bear and fighting with the people. When you're a mod, all we ask for is you've got to be impartial then. If someone says your opinion is nonsense, you can't then block them. That's a madness thing to me. So we'll have a look at that. But listen, everyone who's tuned in this morning, stroke this afternoon, thank you. We're back later on today with more for you. Until then, take care. Goodbye. God bless.